Hi everyone, and welcome to this episode of Just Ask Me with me, Avril Tierney, and Wendy Dixon is our special guest this week. Wendy is a really close friend of mine, and she has agreed to answer all of the questions that you submitted, and there was loads of questions, all relating to returning to education and retraining. She's going to do her best to get through the list and she'll answer them as best she can. And of course, they're all from her perspective. There's no specifics about grants and all that kind of stuff. If you have any of those questions, you would need to go to the people who look after all of that, like Susie, the Department of Social Protection, colleges, all of that kind of stuff. But for tonight, she's going to answer as best she can from her own experience at college. So Wendy went back to university a few years ago and will be graduating from Maynooth University later this year. Yay! And she got her first job as a secondary school teacher also this year. Sorry, a big huge banger just went off behind us. Frightened the life out of us. So let's go to Wendy for a second, and we're going to ask Wendy how she made the decision to return to education and what brought her there. So over to you, Wendy.
Hello everybody, thank you, Avril. So I suppose my story takes forever, so I'm not going to go into the whole ins and outs of it, but we can at another time if people want.
And I think some of it will come up as we go through the questions as well.
Yeah. So I suppose the backstory of my story is I left school when I was 15. Since I was like the age of 5, I wanted to be a teacher because apparently I'm really bossy. Someone told me that because we're friends that long. Probably because I'm older than her by 2 months, but that's all right. We'd say nothing about that. And I took that as really like an insult. And then I was like, no, Avril was like, no, that's a really positive thing, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I always dreamt of wanting to be a teacher. Shit happened in life. Am I allowed to say shit?
Yeah.
Sorry. And the two of us. And I left school at 15 to go on and become a hairdresser, which I absolutely loved hairdressing, to be honest, and did that for like 25 years, but decided in 2015 that I wanted to do something different and kind of leave hairdressing. So I decided to do SNA, and in between kind of hairdressing and going to be an SNA, I always tried to kind of get into some kind of an area in school, whether it was through childcare, worked in creches, absolutely hated it. Just wasn't for me. And then I decided I'll go in and do it and I'll be an SNA. So I did the SNA course, excuse me, and absolutely loved that. Worked in a fabulous little school in County Laois in Ballybris called Rath National School. Amazing little school, little country school, fabulous teachers. And I suppose getting the opportunity to be in the classroom as an SNA, obviously under the direction of the teacher, it really lit the fire in my belly of wanting to be a teacher. And I just, to be honest with you, I just wrote myself off. I left school at 15, didn't have a leaving cert. You know, it was really difficult to get into teaching because of not having the leaving cert, the Irish. So I obviously wanted to do primary teaching, and because of the level of Irish was so hard, I just was like, this is not going to happen. Anyway, long story short, there was an access course, which we'll probably touch on later on, called Turn to Teaching, which the wonderful Katrina O'Sullivan and a few colleagues of hers, Garrett Burns, designed for an access course. It was called Turn to Teaching. So basically it was like to go and figure out, it was a year's course to see if it was something, you know, kind of touch on and see if you liked the way it worked, and kind of introducing you into college. And I laugh when I say I went back to college. I didn't go back to college, I went to college.
To college.
Do you know what I mean? It's funny.
Yeah.
But even, like, I was born in 1977, we lived through the 80s. It was never encouraged for me because of my socioeconomic background.
We're from a working class background.
Yeah, working class. It was never really encouraged. And I think a lot of that was fear on my parents' behalf, because it was really expensive to go to college. There was no grants back then.
There was fees.
Which
restricted people.
Restricted people. So for me, that was another kind of
obstacle
that sort of said, well, this is not going to happen. And then obviously this amazing Turn to Teaching course happened. Got to do the interview. It was literally like, when can I start? Did the interview, got the job. Katrina O'Sullivan interviewed me, by the way. Not dropping names, just saying.
Oh yeah, Katrina O'Sullivan interviewed me.
And literally it went from there. But lots of stuff happened. We'll touch on stuff
We will
as we're
be
going
touching
along.
on that
I'm
as
not
we
gonna
go
just,
along.
You know, it's like...
But she's forgot to mention the fact that she also has 4 children and has had a husband at the time, and like a busy life as a mum.
Yeah.
And then, unfortunately, Wendy's life changed massively in 2019.
Yeah. So I'd finished my turn to teaching course, so that was the year. So I was able to job share for the year with the school were amazing, in fairness, with doing the SNA. So I got to do half and half.
So you were attending Maynooth at that stage as well?
So I was attending Maynooth, so that was a 3-day course, but that was put down as full-time. So I obviously got access to the Susie grant as well. I know we said we weren't going to talk about, but it is quite important. But I don't know the ins and outs.
Yeah, we won't talk about the specifics.
Yeah. Do you know, so that was that. And then I finished that course. But my plan was to do the Irish, to qualify, as in qualify on the course, to get enough of a level of Irish to go in and do the 4-year teaching course to be a primary teacher. And unfortunately I didn't get the Irish because it was very difficult, very challenging, really enjoyable, but a lot of hard work. So I decided, with the advice of people from the college, to do an arts degree. So of course, because I didn't get the Irish, I picked Irish. Because it's like, you told me I can't, watch me.
So I'm going to do it.
So I'm going to do Irish. So I had to go to the department of the Irish department in Maynooth University, and they were absolutely amazing, very supportive. So I started my arts degree in September 2019. My nana had just passed away in August, and I was quite close to her. So that was quite devastating for us all, you know. Started my course in September, and unfortunately on the 30th of November, my husband passed away. So as you can imagine, that was, look, you were there with me, you know, the whole thing. It was absolutely horrific, and it was like, oh my God.
And a shock, unexpected.
My youngest child was just nearly turning 10. I had a daughter just turned 12, two older boys, 18 and 21 nearly, and it was absolutely, it was horrendous.
Yeah.
So as you can imagine, I tried. So then COVID hit in March, so we'd a lot of work online.
COVID.
So we had a lot of college online, and like that, I was panicking and going, I have to do this. And, you know, through the support of the university.
And trying to deal with your grief and your children's grief.
And plus being isolated. People weren't allowed to visit. It was the biggest load of crap. It was crap. But ended up repeating first year. Well, I just tell them the whole lot. Repeated first year.
You started
passed first year. So I did first year twice and passed it. Then I went into second year in September 2021, and my husband's dad passed away on the exact same date as my husband. And then my mum 3 weeks later, 2 days before Christmas. So you can imagine that was a pure shit show. Anyway, so obviously I repeated second year again, passed second year, and then went into third year. And you won't believe what happened. My poor sister-in-law died, and we were so close to her. So I repeated third year again. So I've literally done a 3-year degree in 6 years, plus the year for the turn to teaching. So it's been a long time coming, and I'm graduating next Thursday. Yeah. I'm going to wear that cap and gown, and I'm never taking it off.
No, it'll be glued to her head. And it's well deserved. Yeah. It's been a massive journey to get to where you are. And like, as all of you can imagine, like, because a lot of people who follow the page have faced their own challenges and losses and griefs and all that, you know, so many adversities that they've had to manage. And it's really hard to keep going sometimes. But Wendy did. You kept going, and Wendy kept going, and we were kind of on our journeys together then. I was going through my cancer journey, and Wendy was going through all of her stuff, and it was just to see Wendy continuing on with her education, and so many times wanting to just throw in the towel, but you just didn't. Yeah. And you got amazing support from Maynooth as well. We have to give them kudos. They were amazing.
And my friends and my family, like everyone, and my kid, like it was, and it's not, this is such an important part of, I suppose, this topic and this conversation, because it's like, if you really, really want to do something, shit's going to happen in your life, things are going to come your way, but it's about managing them and making the decision, and you know, and it's hard.
It is.
It paid off. It's paying off.
Yeah, and it is, and like it is. You're right to say that as well. Like there's so many people here who I know from the questions and from the DMs I get who want to return to education or hate the jobs they're in and want to retrain, but are really afraid to do it. And it's the fear a lot of the time that stops us. Whether it's just the fear you have within yourself anyway, but then throw into the mix the stuff that Wendy's gone through, the stuff that I've gone through, the stuff that a lot of you have gone through. It's just massive, and having the determination to keep going, it takes a lot and you have to dig deep. So that's really what motivated me to set this up at Wendy, was because I really wanted people to see that it is possible, that you can actually, I feel like crying saying this, fulfill your dream and, you know, reach where you want to go despite, because of whatever you want to say, because of those challenges. So I think with that said, we might start the questions. And as we go along, Wendy will probably fill you in some more in her own experiences, because really these questions, it's like as if Wendy wrote them herself, actually, a lot of them. They really do.
I really didn't.
She didn't.
We're not pretending we
No,
have an
she
audience.
didn't. No, yeah, well, maybe 2 people might watch. But anyway, so we're going to get started. I'm going to ask the questions like I did the last time, and Wendy's going to do her best to answer. I've actually gone back to college as an adult as well and retrained. So if I have tuppence to throw in, I will. But otherwise, I'll leave it up to Wendy to do. So the first question we got in was, which is really important, how do you even start? You've kind of answered that. What's the first step if you've been out of school for years and you've no state exams? Like, so from your experience, you've kind of covered it a bit, but...
Yeah. I think ultimately the first thing is, don't let your age stop you. Like, honestly, I was 41 starting this. I'm 48 now. And I remember when I was turned 41 and after Jer passed away, and that sense of, like, I'm going to be 43 now. I'm going to be 44 when I finish the degree. I'm going to be too old. And I remember one of the women at the university said to me, age is just a number. So I think that's probably one of the most important things. Don't put yourself in a box because of your age, because there's lots of support there for it.
So the starting point is getting your own head straight, really, around going.
And saying, I can actually do this. It doesn't matter whether you want a primary teacher, a secondary teacher. It's about actually saying, don't feed into the thing of the age, because the age is going to come in and go, you're too old. All these teachers are young. You know, they're only out of school, which a majority of them are. Typically, most teachers are just out of college. They go straight from leaving cert with their amazing points, and they worked really hard for it and they deserve it. But if you've been years wishing and dreaming to do something, don't let age stop you. So anyway, so basically the first point to call is figure out...
It's another banger, sorry.
You want to go, what course you want to do, whether that's primary or secondary. So in a nutshell, if you have your leaving certs, you apply through the CAO. If you don't have the points, you can do an access course, or you can do other courses to build up your points.
Yeah, and that's the same probably for most
CAO.
degrees, isn't it? You can go different ways in.
Yeah, and so for the primary teaching, it's what I had hoped to do was the 4-year degree. I was going to hopefully do it in Freble. So that was the masters included. It was kind of arts and masters combined. And then obviously that didn't work for me. So I did the 3 years masters. So now I am technically a teacher at an unqualified position, but you can do that for 2 to 3 years, and then you can do your masters at a later stage.
Okay.
So it does take time.
So it's about getting your head in the right place.
Yeah.
And then once you do that, kind of start to research how to get
ring
in.
the colleges. Like the likes of Trinity, you have the Trinity Access Programme, you have the Toronto Teaching Programme in Maynooth. Unfortunately, the numbers are quite small, but if you really want it, it's there and it's waiting for you. And I think it's just about ringing around the colleges, and there seems to be much more support
than there used to be.
And
then I suppose if you're not looking at teaching and it's another area, there are other options as well. You know, there's PLCs, there's private colleges. So it's really about, I suppose, getting your headspace right, as you said. Don't put yourself in a box. Oh, I'm too old, or I'm out of school too long, or I have 4 kids, or I have this. Try and get your head straight, and then figure the rest of it out. Like, talk to people. That's really what it's about, isn't it?
Yeah.
Brilliant. So the next question is, which you kind of covered as well, is how do you pay for it? So are there grants, scholarships, or flexible payment plans?
Yeah, there's all three actually. So
Okay.
it depends on your circumstances. So I know with Susie, because of my circumstances, obviously, because I obviously on the widow's pension now. So Susie goes on your previous year's earnings. So that's calculated, and you can get your fees paid for. You can get part of your fees paid for.
Wow.
And you can also get a maintenance, which is you getting actually paid from them on a monthly basis. I think if you live 45 kilometres away and you have to travel, that goes. And then it's also going in as a mature student. So this is not just for people that are like in their 40s or 50s. This also applies to younger people.
If you're over 24, is it?
23, I think it's mature student, yeah. So, and there's also funding in colleges as well. There's like the Student Access Fund, which is really good. And they do also, if you have to pay, they set up a payment plan as well. And there are scholarships. There's a 1916 bursary, and that'll pay for, I think, I'm not sure if it's 1 year, so don't quote me. I'm not sure if it's 1 year or your whole degree. And you don't have to pay any fees. Like, there's amazing stuff out there.
So it's really, again, about your circumstances, and also speaking to the colleges, looking at their websites, and speaking to the people in the offices, I suppose. Is it like administrators? Is that the administrative offices?
There'll be like mature student officer, which is the lady that I was speaking to actually on the phone that day, and the email came in anyway. But there's lots. It's not like it used to be. It's not it's not as hard. It's obviously difficult, but there's much more support there.
Yeah. Than you think.
Than you realise, because it's not this big, scary place. Because for me it was, and now I'm like living proof that it does work.
Yeah, and that's not as scary as you thought.
Yeah.
Our next question is, I'm scared that I'm too old. Oh God, these bangers. Sorry, everybody. Will I feel out of place in a class with younger students?
Absolutely, 110 million %. Yes. I'm not going to sit here and go,
so you're in a class with 23-year-olds?
Yeah.
20-year-olds.
19.
Right, okay.
When I became the mammy.
Yeah.
So it was actually really nice in some way. And I was kind of the annoying student up the front, nodding my head all the time, wanting to know more, which is great. No, it was absolutely so scary. And just sitting here learning Irish, and these young adults coming out like nearly fluent, and I'm like, I just know how to say "diagwit."
What am I doing? Oh well,
absolutely, it's terrifying.
Yeah.
And you know what the worst part was? Come back after COVID, like nobody spoke. There was literally people covered with masks, sitting down on their phones. Everybody had just become so isolated. But that changed. That actually did change.
It did change.
Yeah. So I know.
So expect to feel out of place.
Yeah, 100%.
But know that you should still be there.
Yeah, and you're meant to feel out of place. It's imposterous. It's the lecturers are probably younger than you, and you're just like, this woman is teaching me how to do this, or this man or whatever. But just be open to it, because it is scary.
Yeah. And actually, the next question is actually, how do you handle the imposter syndrome? So you've kind of answered that. It's or fear of failing.
Yeah, of course, and it's massive, because you compare yourself to these young ones that are out Friday night, Saturday night, and I'm going, oh, I'm actually wrecked. I have to do an essay, or I have to do
and you're juggling kids.
And you're juggling kids.
And loss and grief.
Yeah, so it is a big thing. But there's, as I said, there's so much support, and they tend to kind of break the classes up. So people everybody hates it, and they're like, oh, we're going to meet around. Everyone's like, oh, I hate when they do this. But it's really good. Okay. And I love meeting people, so it's grand. But like that, there is moments of just like, oh.
Well, I remember you saying that to me, saying like, they're so young, like I've nothing in common with them. They're all talking about going out on a Friday night, and you're going home to 4 kids, a house, cooking dinners, doing shopping, all that kind of stuff. And they're just living their life as they should, as young ones and young fellas.
But there is a nice sense of, because I was older than them, there was that kind of respect from them.
But you also had to have a talk to yourself and kind of say, I deserve to be here.
Yeah, and just say, get over it. It's only a number. It's only a number.
It's only a number.
It's only a number.
So the next question is, and you've kind of, again, a lot of these you've kind of covered, but I suppose it's just like, what happens if life events, illness, death interrupts your studies?
Well, obviously that did happen to me. Yeah. And the one thing that I would say to anybody is just reach out for help. Reach out, go to your lecturers, speak to them. They're absolutely, my experience was absolutely amazing. I mean, I literally was on the first name basis with them. I never had a problem. And the way I used to kind of work was, I'd go quiet for a little while and I'd do nothing. And then I'd go, shit, I need to send an email. And they'd be literally waiting for the email, and then literally the support would be there 100%. Like,
so it's keeping the lines of communication open.
And don't be afraid to ask for help. For me, that was the big thing. Do not be afraid.
Don't be ashamed.
Don't be ashamed. Because you can guarantee that the young people that we think are doing amazing and have it all together, they're struggling as well. You know, but we tend to not think, because we're that bit older.
Yeah. That, we think they're grand.
They're grand, you know. But it's ultimately, ask for the help, reach out, and because it is there. There's lots of support there. Well, in my experience.
Well, you've always spoken about that. I have to say, like, anytime you had any issues with college, or you were kind of behind, or you needed even financial support.
And my God, was I behind. Like, it was literally like the last post was like, come on, you've got this.
You've got this. And it was tough going, but they were amazing support. And then reach out to people around you as well. Like, people around you will help and support you, even if it's just an ear to listen to you, you know, that there's people there. How has going back to education boosted your confidence or mental health? I love that question.
Well, I'm going to say something, right? I'd say about 5 or 6 years ago. I don't even know if it was before or after my husband passed away. I can't remember. But I remember my son, my second son, and we were having a conversation, and I just said to him, do you know what, I just want to know about stuff. Like, I was young having my first child. I was young having 2 kids. I started off having kids quite young. Was always really interested in education, kind of politics,
curious,
society, all that kind of thing. But I never felt I knew anything about it. But see now, I feel like I can be part of conversations and know what people are talking about. Like, education is just so empowering, and it's so powerful. And it doesn't mean you have to be an expert at everything. No. But it's even to be able to ask, and to even have the confidence to ask the question and go, do you know what, I don't really understand what that means. Would you explain that to me? And
do you think being in like a university environment allowed you that space to kind of find your voice, to ask questions?
Absolutely. And obviously my other subject that I picked was sociology, so that's very interesting. Like, that's really something that I love. Not everybody loves it, but I loved it, and it gave me that, I suppose, space to learn
and to question
and also to kind of go, I wonder why that happens and why this happens and why do you know, and you're learning small little snippets but massive stuff all at the same time, where now I wouldn't feel intimidated being around, like, I don't know, people that I would see as educated, or
you're not maybe intimidated anymore by people who seem like they know more than you, and of course they don't always, but you felt like they might have. So in terms of your confidence, it's a massive boost, isn't it? And then has that fed into your mental health, in terms of, has it helped your mental health stay on level, or what has it done for you?
There's times that it's been a lot, because you have to get the work done, you have deadlines, you know, deadlines are hard, but deadlines are important, because, you know, and I never made a deadline. I'm not going to sit here and bullshit you. I never, ever made a deadline. My poor lecturers were just like, you're grand. In fairness, like, loads of people died, so I had a good excuse. Right? But just get your deadlines. Don't let go, because that can become quite overwhelming, and that's where I would have struggled with my mental health. But on the other hand,
well, you were also dealing with a lot. Sorry to interrupt you. You were dealing with so much outside of college, so you were dealing with stuff that most of us haven't dealt with on that level. And then you were also dealing with deadlines and college work and lecturers and everything that went with it, and having to make those kind of decisions, and financial struggles.
Very struggle.
So being able to manage that, you know, is just phenomenal.
But also, as much as it was difficult, there was also that kind of space of, I need to go and get that done. It was nearly like I kind of had a purpose, even though I had got a purpose. I have children, I don't mean that.
But outside of them,
it was like, right, I need to go up to my room now. Kids, I'm going up to study. I'll see it in 2 hours. That's the way I study. They tell you not to, but I don't listen, obviously. And for me, that was like, right, this is my purpose.
And your space.
And then to see an essay written, it's like, I wrote that. I actually wrote that.
And you think as well then, like, it gave you that space and that purpose, but also you had the end goal, which was that you knew at the end of this, I'll have that piece of paper. But more importantly than the piece of paper, it'll lead to a job that for you, will fulfill you, but financially would help all of you as a family as well, which is, and keeping that in sight.
Yeah, and that's what kept me going. Like, there was times where I was like, I can't, many times I'm like, I can't do this, I just can't, I'm just done.
Like, there's times you would collapse in here, like, I can't do this, I just can't do it, and we'd be like, okay,
so hard,
you know, maybe you need to take a break, maybe, you know, and
then I just broke it down into little chunks instead of trying to look at the whole thing at once. So that's
the
also,
key. It's like when I did my thing with my wardrobe the other day. Little piles, it's helpful.
Little chunks.
What next one shall we ask? Let's see. I got some in late, so I'm just going to have a quick look at what these are. So, what would you say to lecturers who have students like you in their class? And what do you wish they understood about your experience? Do you know what I mean? So if there was lecturers, maybe you haven't experienced lecturers who treated you differently, but is there anything you would say to your lecturers about having people in your class like
honestly,
like you?
I can't even see any kind of a negative towards that, because when you're a more mature person going to college, you're there because you want to.
Yeah.
So it's quite different. From my experience, it was like, no, they knew, if anything, they kind of went out on a limb from me at times and gave me extra support, you know, where they'd kind of go a bit easier on me because, you know.
So like they did understand your experience.
100%. More than probably anyone in the class. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I was that bit older, and it's like, you're not there because your mum and dad said you have to go to college, or, you know, it's just what you do. It wasn't like that for me.
It was a choice.
Yeah, I wanted to be there. And a lot of people are in college and they do want to be there, but it can be pressure, where I was literally like, I just wanted to learn and learn and learn. I couldn't get enough, like.
You really wanted to be there. Yeah.
What was I doing?
Yeah. We got one in today. I got one in today, which was a perception that teachers come from privileged backgrounds. I'm just really aware of times. We don't have a huge amount of time to answer this, but we might just quickly go through it. Perception that teachers come from privileged backgrounds, first of all, and how difficult was it to feel like a part of the class, or was this even an issue for you? So there's two things there, really. There's the perception out there that teachers are from a privileged background. So discuss.
So that's the stereotypical, which we see in a lot of classrooms in Ireland, and this is a debate, and it's not to piss anybody off or to hurt anybody's feelings or to make assumptions by any means. Or for me, I came from a working class family, struggled financially. There was never really encouragement, as I said earlier on, to go to college because of the fear of having to pay fees, blah blah blah. But the research tells us that in most primary schools in Ireland, the teachers are young, single, white and female.
Yeah.
Don't shoot the messenger, I'm just saying.
That's what the research
That's
says.
what the research says. There's obviously male teachers as well, I don't mean that, but when you look at the whole, as a whole,
the percentage is higher.
That's the percentage. Secondary schools, not so much. So I think the likes of Turn to Teaching, the likes of the Trinity Access Programme are really, really important for diversity in the classroom, because if you look at our classrooms, primary and secondary, our classrooms are so diverse.
As in the student population.
Not everybody is, there's lots of non-Irish students, which is absolutely amazing, but that's not being reflected.
And there's also kids from different socio-economic backgrounds as well.
Yes, and that's not, you know, and I've experienced this.
Yeah.
I've experienced two sides of it. I'm working in a wonderful school now that I absolutely love. It's a DESH school. It has such diverse students. It has such a diverse range of students. And the teachers are quite diverse as well.
But that's because your principal has really worked at doing that. Yeah. Am I right?
Yeah,
like she has really worked at ensuring that there is diversity, and that brings, I suppose, an understanding. Like if you've got somebody from a similar background to you, and that's your teacher in front of you, or a similar accent to you, or you know, and this bullshit. Is not. It is. I mean, it's not to push people away.
But ultimately, it's about how connecting, how students connect or don't connect, and that's just
and an understanding maybe that, like, and I know we mentioned Katrina already, but Katrina speaks about this kind of stuff. Like if someone's coming into your classroom and their runners are white and they should be black, instead of pointing out that they're runners and they're sent home from school, it's like maybe that child can't afford the runners, maybe they don't have a parent at home to make sure they have the right runners. it's a massive big conversation, I know. But it's being aware of those kind of, and that's not to say people who come from privileged backgrounds don't know about that stuff.
No, of course they do. But I think just for me, the whole thing is my kind of growth in education is for really to see diversity in classrooms through the lens of a teacher, not from the student's perspective, but from the teacher. And I mean, you couldn't get more diverse than me, 48 years of age, going in to teach. Do you know what I mean? And I nearly feel like saying, who do I think I am? But it's like, no, it's like that's that natural thing that comes into your mind that you're just like, right.
But imagine how inspiring that is, you know, even if they have parents at home who want to become something else. Yeah. And they're saying, well, my teacher's 48 and she went back to teaching and whatever. That's amazing. Yeah, so I wish we'd loads of time to talk about that, but we don't.
Maybe we'll do another one.
We might do another one.
We might get in trouble though.
Yeah. Let's see, what will we go on to next? So how did you manage lone parenting while studying? And I know there was times when you to work as well.
Yeah. To be honest with you, it was quite difficult. It was quite hard to manage. In COVID, it was grand because we couldn't go anywhere. We couldn't go online to do lectures. So I was kind of smack bang in the middle of all that. And
you do have 2 older children.
And I've got 2 older children. My eldest now is nearly 27 and my second boy is 24. So they're all a good bit older now, and that kind of, in fairness to them, they were very supportive.
Yeah, they were.
They were very good, getting stuck in, you know. If they hear this now, they'll be saying, "You're such a liar."
They never did the dishes.
They never did the dishes. No, in fairness, do you know what? It was actually, to be honest with you, it was a team effort. It was a team effort. Yeah. And the kids have sacrificed a lot.
Yeah.
Because of the financial kind of strain of it. It has been quite challenging financially, but I'm here.
Yeah. And you're doing it.
And I'm doing it.
Yay. We've 2 more questions. Well, we've loads more questions, but I'm not going to get to them all because nobody wants to be here for 2 hours really. But we might do it again. How quickly can you move into a new career once you're qualified? That probably just depends, does it? Well, you moved in very quickly.
It's literally like, well, I was hopefully in 7 years, but that's grand. No, but that's kind of a hard question to answer because does that generally mean like an education, or if it was more specific?
Do you know what? I might ask a different question. I might ask it, is it worth the effort and cost, and has it really opened new doors?
Absolutely.
I think that's a better one.
110 million gazillion %.
Yeah.
It really has. Like, I've had so much personal experience in my life with other stuff that I'm not even going to get into, and to be able to, the richness that you can bring into a classroom when you have that experience. So I think Ireland as a whole needs loads of new teachers of a little bit older generation that have that experience that can bring into the class and have kind of compassion and empathy and are able to go, do you know what? We don't know what's going on in that child's life. Yeah. Or that child has a wonderful life, brilliant. It's not all misery. Like,
no,
do you know
of course
what I mean?
It's not.
But 110 million %, it's...
And you've had loads of opportunities as well from meeting people and the networking that you've done.
Got to meet the Taoiseach, Leo.
Yeah.
I told him his socks were lovely.
No, I did. I got invited. Besties with Katrina O'Sullivan here.
I got invited up to actually speak with the Ministers for Education a few years ago, and it was such an amazing experience. And I just felt like it really gave me that confidence. But they wanted to put a face to the name of Toronto Teaching, and sure, I'm hanging around forever, so I was like, forget that one. Sick of looking at her.
They're so relieved she's gone from Maynooth University.
I'd say to be
Maynooth will be on this saying, thank God she's gone. And this is our final question. What's one thing you wish someone had told you before you signed up?
Oh Jesus, you have me now.
I know.
Well, it's something that people did tell me.
Okay.
So, just keep going. Just do it. If it's what your heart really wants, and if it's what your heart desires, you have to keep going. Because I could have gave up and turned into a miserable old bitch and just been a horrible mother and not fulfilled. And that's my experience. Yeah. Like, somebody else might be a teacher and go, Jesus, I wish I had her. That's just my experience. Yeah. It's my lifelong dream since I was 5 years of age to be a teacher, and it never left me. And I suppose believe in yourself, and you deserve it, and you can do it. If you really want to do it, you absolutely can. You can throw all the obstacles in your way and you can make excuses, but ultimately you can do it. I believe in you.
What a way to end this Just Ask Me. I absolutely love it. Wendy, thanks a million.
Thank you.
We did get so many lovely questions, and I knew the questions would directly link to all the stuff that you've experienced and gone through. And I really hope if there's someone out there who wants to retrain or go back to university or
go to university.
I
just went.
Or even do anything. Maybe
Anything.
it's doing a video like this, or maybe it's doing anything. Maybe
Just
it's setting
do
up
it.
an Instagram page just to do it. And that's really was the purpose of me doing this today, is because I've retrained, I've gone back, I set up this Instagram page, I do these videos. I never imagined I'd be doing this kind of stuff. And you're right, if you really believe in it, and you can be shitting yourself and the fear can take over, but just try and do it.
Just do it.
So if there's anyone out there, you heard her.
And you've got this.
Just do it. So any other questions or any comments, we would love your feedback. Please be kind with the feedback. We've just done our best. Thank you
I'm bleeding sweat and this menopause is
Thanks so much to everybody who watches, even if it's only two of you. And thank you, Wendy, so much
Thank you for
doing
having me.
this.
Bye.
Bye.